Okay, good. So we're live on YouTube now as well. So everybody over there on YouTube, welcome to Deep Entrepreneurship, the ultimate hero and heroine's journey of transformation. And over on YouTube, go ahead and put in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this later on, your name and location, and also what inspired you to be here with us today. So let's see what we have in the chat here on Zoom. Welcome, Rebecca in Denver. Welcome, Janet in Long Beach, California. Love to learn all things soul. Oh, nice. I love it. Now, one note for everybody on Zoom, please make sure that you click on the blue drop down and choose everyone before you make your comments. If it says host and panelist above your comment, then only Tammy and I can see your comment. So we want everybody to be able to see your comments. Cynthia in Charlotte says, love learning from you. Yay, awesome. Robin in Maryland, I'm here because Spirit sent me here. That is amazing. Teresa in Chevy Chase, Maryland. Welcome. Welcome, Arlene in Las Vegas. Arlene says, manifesting a new aligned business. Yay. That is exciting, Arlene. Claudia, welcome in Wasaga Beach, Ontario, Canada. Breadcrumbs, following the trail. Yes.
Love that.
Welcome, Anya in Germany. I feel there's change everywhere. Yeah, that's for sure. Wow. Brendan in Dublin. I like the hero idea. Awesome, Brendan. That's great to hear. And let's see. Welcome, Nicole in Rochester. I'm looking to expand my business for the highest good of all. Amazing. Hi, Lottie in the Netherlands. Hi, Leslie in New Jersey. Phoebe in Ithaca. Mallory in the UK. I somehow found myself clicking on this link. That's great, Mallory. I'm so glad you're here. I think you're going to love it. Welcome, Sonia in Oregon. Jane in Los Osos, California. Welcome, Pam and Lainey and Angela and Arlie and Joni. Welcome, everybody. So glad to see you here. And welcome, everybody joining over on YouTube. Well, let's begin. We have so much that we are super excited to share with you today. So I will share my screen with you all. Here we go. So we have this 4-day adventure planned for you around deep entrepreneurship, the ultimate hero and heroine's journey of transformation. And today, and we're going to introduce ourselves to you in just a minute, so you'll get to know us a little more here. But we're on day 1 here. This is the first step of the hero and heroine's journey, which is the ordinary world. So as we dive into that, let's just go ahead and introduce ourselves to you. So my name is Jocelyn Starfeather. I'm the founder of Sacred Planet, and I have been on a long and a long journey, a heroine's journey full of many unexpected twists and turns. So I just love approaching it in this way, this spiritual adventure, this entrepreneurial adventure, really acknowledging that there are many initiations along the path, right? There are dark nights of the soul. There are moments of wonder and awe. There are just so many incredible stops on the journey. And I really had my life shifted when at the birth of my first daughter. Everything changed for me. I realized I needed to stop working at my corporate job. I needed to do something completely different. I didn't know what that was going to be yet. And so as everything emerged and things started becoming clear, I was extremely called to indigenous and ancient wisdom and to study that in more and more deep and profound ways, and to travel to places where I could study that. And so over time, I have taken my corporate knowledge, the business and project management and finance background, and combined that with what I've learned on the spiritual path and become a visibility and thought leadership coach for visionary entrepreneurs and a spiritual alchemist. And I work with astrology and alchemy and a beautiful, beautiful mix of those. And I'm also really passionate about ancient Egypt and other ancient and indigenous cultures. And I weave that into everything that I do. And you can learn more about me at my website or my YouTube channel, which are posted here. And yeah, so excited to be meeting here with you today on this hero's journey topic. So Tami, I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself as well.
All right. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I saw a lot of people from my community showing up, and I just wanted to say thanks for being here, everybody. I'm Tami Mensh. I'm a transformative life and spiritual business coach, which is the kind of coach that helps you to shift into a new way of being. I'm certified by the ICF, and so I bring all of the best, coaching, most cutting edge coaching practices to my work. And I have my master's in transpersonal psychology, which is the psychology that goes beyond the person into the farthest reaches of our human potential, into places like intuition and creativity and imagination and movement and altered states of consciousness, and all of these things that I weave into my coaching to make it very multidisciplinary. I'm currently working at Sophia University, where I got my master's in the certification leadership coaching certification program, where I'm raising up the next generation of amazing coaches. And I love to help them along their journey, because I think the work is so important. And I'm also a women's circle leader. So I guide moon circles every month according to the moon and the natural rhythms of the universe. So that's really important work to me. And I'm founder of the Kaleidoscope Lounge and Coaching, where curious people come for fearless and experiential learning. And that really is the crown jewel from where all of my work flows. I believe that everybody needs a coach and support on their journey, that we just really cannot do it alone. And that's why we're all here coming together in community. So feel free to visit my website and learn more about it. I'd love to learn more about you too. So thanks.
Yay. Thank you, Tami. And I'm just so excited to be co-creating with you, Tami. I just think that I know we've talked about this, right? Like our unique gifts, we have the different kind of approaches, different modalities, different training backgrounds that we're coming from, but we really meet in the middle and see the world in this beautiful, expansive way. And we bring all of this together in a very unique way on all the levels, right?
All the levels.
On all the levels. So
yeah.
I love working with you, and it's been so fun creating this, and can't wait to see what's next.
I know it's all happening. And Jocelyn has been an amazing mentor for me. And you really move through the world with a lot of integrity, and you walk the walk, and you've really inspired me. And I love, working and co-creating with you. So I'm really happy to be doing this together. So
yay, me too. Me too. Okay, well, and just welcome to everybody who's still coming in new here on Zoom and over on YouTube. We're so happy to have you join us today. We have a total of a little more than 600 people who have registered for this webinar series. So it's like the energy is strong. We're just super excited to share this with all of you. And if you're watching this later as a recording, know that you are just as much a part of this collective energy. You are a part of this community, and we're super excited to have you here as well. So today, May 2nd, we're starting out in the ordinary world. And so Tami's going to give you in just a few minutes an overview of the whole arc of the hero's journey, so you can really put this ordinary world idea in the context of the whole journey. But just to know where you're starting here. And we'll let you know in a little more detail like this, where we're going each day of the 4 days, okay, as we go. But in this stage, this very first stage of the journey, you as the hero or heroine have a strong sense that there's something not quite right. Something is missing. Something needs to change. So you've been living in what's a normal world for you, doing your day-to-day stuff, but you have this like knowing that there's something else out there. There's some bigger purpose on the horizon. but maybe you don't know how to approach it or how to get there or what are the next steps, right? And so destabilizing events start coming in, catalyzing events start coming in, and we're experiencing this so strongly in our world right now, right? We're getting some really, really solid taps on the shoulder at this point, and the universe is definitely whispering to us, like, what if there was some other way? What if there was some other job? What if there was some other relationship? What if there was some other philosophy that could really help me find the truth inside? And so you're also thinking of this on a mythical level, right? An evolutionary level, and asking, like, how do I fit into the bigger story of everything that's happening right now? So this is where we begin the journey, and what a powerful beginning place it is. So I'll turn it over to you, Tami, to tell people a little bit more about the full arc.
All right, great. Stop sharing your screen. Okay. I would love to know, before we, get into it, what is it that I know that you, what are you excited most about in seeing and learning here today? So I just wanted to, I know you said why you were here, but I just wanted to get a little bit more feeling of what we can be gearing our session towards. So I'll be looking at the chat for that. So you, let me share my screen. And before I do, let me tell you a little bit more. Okay, 1 second. All right. Okay, so you may be familiar with the term hero's journey. It originated with Joseph Campbell, who was an American professor of literature and an author. And his main focus was comparative mythology and comparative religion. And his work covered many, many aspects of the human experience. And he wrote this seminal book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, which was one of the most influential books ever written. And he describes this monomyth, which is a reoccurring pattern that's shared by multiple cultures throughout different times. So it's this cross-cultural myth that features the hero's archetype. And there's a reason why so many myths and fairy tales across cultures and throughout history have featured the hero's journey, because it's a universal story that speaks to us on a primal level. And its meaning is so rooted in our collective unconscious. It's the story of transformation of the regular person, the average Jane or Joe, into their highest potential. So then Christopher Vogler, a Hollywood development executive at Disney, turned this into 12 stages that you might see play out in a lot of like box office hits that you're familiar with. For example, Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Lion King and Matrix, Katniss from Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Jon Snow from the Game of Thrones. These are all some of the heroines and heroes that come to mind. Who for you comes to mind? If you want to put in the chat any heroes or heroines that you might have been inspired by from books or literature or even real life, we can name them now. Oh, Travis says the average hobbit. Okay. Yep. And Knights of the Round Table. Oh, Dr. Estes. Yes, Clarissa Pinkola Estes, a big inspiration of mine. Frida, meaning Frida Kahlo, I'm sure. It's a beautiful artist. Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey. Yes. Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Neo from Leaving the Matrix. Absolutely. These are all people that find themselves as, they're average people in this ordinary world, and there's a hero within them. And just like there's a hero within each of us. So I'm going to just take you through the overview of the hero's journey. and just give you a sense of the stages.
And Robin in the chat said me. Yes, Robin, you're
Oh,
the hero.
yay. Robin's got it. Robin's got it.
Absolutely.
All right. Can you see my screen here?
Yes, looks great.
All right, great. So we start out in the ordinary world, and this is where we are right now, with no hint of the journey that we're about to take. Then we're called to adventure, often reluctantly. We leave home, we cross a threshold into a different world. We soon meet people who help us to navigate this first part of our journey, whether they're external people or internal resources. We undergo a set of trials, obstacles, and temptations where we meet allies and enemies along the way, often failing, but eventually succeeding. But then our grand trial awaits. And it is this point where we reach the point of revelation and our old self is discarded. We finally accept our destiny and then often find ourselves transformed and start the journey back home. So this way may be just as challenging, and there may be a final demon or two to conquer before turning towards regular life. But when you return home, you discover that you can never be the same again. So that is the 12 stages of the journey. And you might be familiar with these in stories that you've seen, or might even be able to see these themes, show up in your own life. So the hero, is an idea, a symbol, a direct lived experience that condenses every aspect of aspiration and expansion and transformation that could be possibly imagined. And I just want to be clear, when I say hero, it's the heroic journey for the hero or the heroine. So it's for all of us. The hero archetype is the one inside all of us that takes the risk out of our comfort zone and says yes to the journey. And you could see this woman, saying yes. And it's the one who has the courage to go on the quest, to really get clear about the values that you have, to face the challenges, to make yourself vulnerable and go through the process to gain strength and wisdom and wholeness. So this quest not only benefits the hero, but it really benefits others and leaves the world a better place as well. And the heroine's journey was written about by Maureen Murdoch, who was a student of Joseph Campbell. And she describes it as an inward journey to wholeness. So this journey can also be a psycho-spiritual journey. The ability of the hero or heroine to stay true to themselves is really ultimately what makes them heroic. And so, this heroine or hero is not afraid to break the rules and can be seen in all kinds of visionaries, healers, light workers, rebels, and outcasts. So I hope that you can see yourself, in this journey, and be, inspired by it as well. It could be this deep journey where you find yourself to regain your creative spirit or rescue the unlived or unexpressed parts of your life. So does that make sense to everybody? Or do you have any questions or anything up to this point? Or any insights or anything you want to share after hearing about these beautiful stages that we go through? Laura Laura says, I think I traveled the whole journey from 2014 to today. Yes, yes. And it is something that we can travel over and over again in a death and rebirth process over and over. So really good point.
Yeah, and one other thing that's so interesting about this too is that we live in these spirals, right? And so we can go through a hero's journey from the dark night of the soul and the ordeal all the way to the reward and the elixir. And then we come back and do it again, but we're at like a higher spiraling level, right? Like we upgrade our consciousness each time, we upgrade our evolution each time. So it's just so beautiful how we're guided through that. Ooh,
Yeah.
Lots of comments coming in. Yay. And I wanted to read this one that Deirdre said. Deirdre says, Deirdre from Ireland, I'm 71 and just starting my new rest of my life journey. There has to be more and it is just beyond my fingertips, but I am ready and I know I will succeed with your help. That's amazing, Deirdre. So beautiful. And this is like, we're going to talk a lot about this, but this is the sacred yes, right? You don't know what it's going to be, but you're saying yes. And that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. These comments are amazing. So, how does this relate to entrepreneurship, right?
Yes.
And so in our world today, we may not be living in the matrix. Some people may disagree, but we may not be living, in a place where we're fighting mythical creatures and, and dragons and things like that. Business is the place where most of our personal growth happens. That's the place where the hero and the heroine's journey plays out. That's the transformation happens in the challenges that we face every day at work and at home. So this is the connection this is our battlefield, is the risks that we take when we go into our own entrepreneurship and we step into our own place where we're putting our work and ourselves into the world, So where we stand now is the ordinary world. It's your status quo. It's like Rocky Balboa, at the beginning of Rocky, who is this mediocre boxer and loan collector, and he's doing his best to live day to day, in the poor part of Philadelphia. So maybe this status quo or this ordinary world for you is in a place where it's a job that just doesn't light you up, and you might feel like you're going through the motions. And I know that this world feels like more than anything but ordinary right now. And that's why we're being called, to wake up out of our old reality. So you might be also finding that the work that you're doing could be more meaningful. And how do we make that? How do we put more of the hero's journey into the work that we're already doing? Let me see if there are any other comments before we do a little exploration. Oh, okay. Wow. We are being called to be the heroine. And Eveline, I hope I said that right, said, as an artist, I was never interested in business, and now I am. Beautiful, beautiful. That's the way we put our work into the world, our sacred work. Just taking a look here. We're getting some other great examples of Joe versus the volcano and other things like that. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Beautiful, great.
Yeah, this idea of shifting, like Evelyn saying, as an artist, I was never interested in business. Now I am. There's so much changing right now. Like our world is changing so fast. And so that may be the case for many of you out there. Like you haven't been interested in entrepreneurship before. And now you're like, wait, what's that all about? Let me just peek in and see a little more, because we're all so needed now, right? And it doesn't have to be super businessy or super like business strategic what you do, but it can be in your own unique way. How are you sharing your purpose with the world? And we all help change the world little by little, each by doing our own part, right? So I think we're just all being called up to that in a whole new level at this time. So just acknowledging that in everyone, it's really powerful. Or if you've been an entrepreneur, you're probably being called to do it in a different way now, in a very different way than you ever have before, because this is what the world needs. So just wanted to share that little.
Yes, exactly. It's so important. So important. So let's just do a little exploration of where we are now, in this ordinary world that we're in, that we find ourselves right now. So let's slow down, just a little bit and really feel. We take so little time to do that. And that's why we sometimes can't really tap into what's going on inside of us. So I'm going to ask you to drop in right now. And you can close your eyes if you'd like to, or soften your gaze, just so you can kind of go into to do a little check into your internal landscape and find out, what is emerging for you in this very moment. So just like deepen your breath and just let yourself kind of melt and soften. And see if you feel what you feel. And it might not be anything. You might say, I don't feel anything. And that's a numbness or possible disconnection. And that's something that's really important to notice. Maybe you feel an emptiness. Or a stuckness. You could see if you feel any kind of constriction or tension, which means that you might be holding on to something or closing off to something. You might be protecting a part of yourself. Or maybe you feel an openness, an aliveness, a sense of curiosity, a sense of adventure. And it might be a deep knowing that you're meant for more. And maybe you sense that you're needed. And what is yours to do? And really what is called for you, what called you here today? So just taking a little inner inventory right now as we start this journey together. And when you're ready, and you feel complete with that for now, I would love to hear, in the chat, what came up, what are you feeling? What came up for you, Jocelyn?
Yeah, I felt excitement because I'm just thrilled to be here with you and everybody. So expansion and curiosity. Curiosity as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jan says openness and curiosity as well. Great. Lorraine says unlimited possibilities and curiosity. Yes, yes. Nicole says feeling a sense of urge, which I breathe through and with which soothes it from turning into urgency if protective personality tries to take over. Oh, hot sensation in the solar plexus. Leslie tuned into a deep hurt in my heart. Yes. So it's all here. We were going to welcome it all in, feel it all. Sista says, joy, embracing the unknown and loving it. Sonja June Carey says, surprising passion felt. So there was something new that sounds like you didn't expect to feel, which is passion. That's interesting. Robin said, what came up for me was imagination free to dream. Anita, I want to work with archetypes and live a magical life. Yes, yes. Susan, she felt an extreme sense of urgency. Oh, I'm reinventing my life at the edge of 65. Yes. Oh, so you're feeling like now the time is really ripe for you, Susan. Yeah, that's really powerful. Snow, I felt excitement, but also frustration that I'm not doing it yet. So you've got this anxiety, you're saying. So you've got this feeling like, I know that I want to be doing something and I haven't gotten started. So it's creating this little disruption in you and a little pressure. It sounds like you're getting a little scratched there. Yep. Janet says, I felt stillness and oneness flowing. Deidre says, a blissful tingle in my heart center, giddy feeling of adventure. Angela, uncertainty. Angela, I've been very lonely, hero's journey. It's been a very lonely hero's journey, but I finally feel I can connect with people again. Well, I'm really glad that you're connecting here in with us today. Teresa says, some fear and anxiety and excitement about the possibilities. And I'll read one more. Just there are many more, and I'm going to go back, and I hope you read them in the chat. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to read them all because they're all so powerful. Melissa said, I cried through it as I had an aha after aha. The time for me is now.
Oh.
Aho, I was thinking not just aha, but aho, Melissa.
Oh,
May it be so. And I love that. Thank you for all of your shares. And they're all so different, right? Look what we're all, such a spectrum of experience. But one of the themes that I really feel that's coming through is people are sensing that there's something happening now and that there's something stirring, as Arlie says, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. What themes are you feeling coming up here from the people that are with us today, Jocelyn?
Yeah, I feel it's like an opening to new possibilities. You know, I think that is expressed in a lot of different ways here. And some sadness and hurt as well, you know, and we really are fear and anxiety as well, you know, and really honoring these uncertainty, these ones that are more difficult, like I'm really honoring that for each of you. And I'm sure you're feeling a bit of what's happening in the world as well as what's going on in your own personal reality, right? So yeah, it's so important to just know we're in this together. We really are, and we can hold space for each other.
That just, when you said that, it just made my heart just feel so full, to know that, to see all these beautiful people that are here together, and that we're all experiencing this at the same time together here. It feels very supportive. So thank you. I'm really glad that each and every single one of you are here. It wouldn't be the same if one person was not here and their energy was not here.
Yes, so true.
So I'm just going to take just a couple more minutes before I turn it over to Jocelyn for a beautiful, beautiful journey that she's going to take us on. And because after reading this, I think that this practice is really going to be really useful for everyone. And it's something really simple and quick that we can do while we're sitting here right now. And so I'm just going to invite you to, and again, you can close your eyes or keep them open, whatever you're comfortable with. But just to, we're going to do a practice that is about releasing our grasp and our gripping, and opening to the vastness and potentiality of the unknown. And a lot of people wrote about that. So I think this will be a beautiful way to embody that, what everybody's feeling. And so first, start by literally gripping your hands into a fist and squeeze as hard as you can. And as you're squeezing, think about what you are holding on to. Is it the way that you used to be? The way that you wish it was, right? Feel how the things that you don't want to let go of, that scare you to think about not having, and feel this sense of constriction and clinging that connects us to all of this that we may be clinging to. Maybe they're like old patterns, right? And conditioning. Squeeze and feel that constriction, that holding, that gripping. And then very slowly unclench. And even slower than that, 50% slower. Really, really feel the blood begin to flow. And what is, as you open and soften your hands, the softening and allowing and opening and flowing of letting go, right? And feeling into the new space of this open palm. This new space that you created, this new blood flow that you created, this new aliveness that you opened up in your hands. What happened to your heart when you let go? What can you feel the beauty and the power in that potential, that acceptance, that willingness and trust when you do this rather than do this? And what will enter this new space that you've made? So it's just, if you wanted to share anything about what you felt in that practice, I'd love to read about that, share a couple. To me, it really I realized that it doesn't hurt to let go. It's okay. And that I'm making a lot of space available, and I feel more open to receive. So, all right. Thank you all for participating.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tami.
Yeah, thank you.
It's such a shift from the holding on, right? The squeezing, constriction, contraction to just, and this surrender and this trust that comes in when we let go is so important for our spiritual journeys and our life journeys and entrepreneurial journeys, all of it. Really allowing. So I'm going to share a little more with you all about that. I will share my screen in because I love to have my slides and my pretty images. So here we go. So I want to share a bit with you about deep entrepreneurship and what do we really mean by this? And what does this have to do with the hero's journey? And then we're going to do a really powerful shamanic journey or meditation together. So deep entrepreneurship and the sacred instructions are just intricately tied together. And I'll explain more about what I mean by that. Those of you who are in classes with me, you know what I mean by the sacred instructions, but don't worry, I'll explain it a bit more in case you don't. So deep entrepreneurship is this place where the spiritual journey and the entrepreneurial journey meet and become one. And if you've been an entrepreneur for any amount of time, you know that actually these are inseparable, right? We can't step out on the entrepreneurial journey and put ourselves out there and share our voice and our artwork or our healing or whatever it may be with the world without going through some deep inner tests and really have to come into a very different place of believing in ourselves, trusting our abilities, trusting that we're supported. And so when we're able to find the alignment between spirit and business, okay, and business, this isn't like a hard and fast word, okay? You don't have to have a business or have an online business to be an entrepreneur, right? You just have to be excited about what you're creating and what you're drawn to and how you want to share that with the world. But merging spirit and our purpose work is really the only way to create the highest levels of fulfillment that we truly deeply desire, and abundance and personal growth and impact that is helping and changing the world. And in a way that's in flow, in a way that's like when we opened our hands, right? That's like really flowing, that feels amazing, that feels expansive, not constricted, that feels true, that is really aligned with your energy and your personality and all that you stand for. And so when we're co-creating with our heart and soul, and when we're co-creating with the universe and the higher intelligence, we naturally enter into that spiritual journey. And this is the hero's journey because we're tested along the way and we find ways to triumph. Now, what happens in deep entrepreneurship, where we're bringing the purpose work and the spiritual journey together, is that we naturally step into this zone of passionate and magical co-creation with the larger plan. And this brings in alchemy, which is about true transformation, which is about taking something that's difficult, that's challenging, and transforming it into gold or into our higher consciousness. And what we most deeply desire for our purpose work is actually the same exact thing that the universe most deeply desires for us to achieve and create in this lifetime. This is always true. Okay. And that the more that we follow our heart and the deepest longings of our heart, which may seem completely out there and not make any sense to our friends and family, it might not even make sense to us, as it starts coming through. It might require us to make a lot of changes in our lives to make this happen. But when we're really tuned into the heart, we will naturally be doing and creating and being exactly what the universe wanted us and put us here to do, because that heart is our compass. That heart is always leading us back to center. And if there are situations in your life where you just know something's not quite right, you just know something has got to change, that is your heart telling you you're not right on the center line, right? There is something else you're meant to be doing. You've got to let go of this old situation that's not working and come into your highest version of yourself. And the universe or our heart, it's truly all the same, because the universe is speaking to us through the heart. It's just constantly communicating this to us. And so these are the messages that we get in our dreams or our meditation. These are the taps on the shoulder. These are the wild ideas that call us out of the comfort zone and into the fullest life. And these are the sacred instructions. Now, let me say just a little bit more about that. The sacred instructions is this idea of the way that the universe communicates with us. Okay. And I'll give you just an example of this. I have a dear friend. Her name is Amanda. She lives in California, and she she lived in San Francisco. She had this beautiful little place in San Francisco, and she could go to the restaurants. And this was before COVID and everything. So it was great. And she started getting messages that she needed to move from that place further out into the countryside. And she needed to buy this certain piece of land over here. And it seemed completely ridiculous, because her whole life was based around being in the city and being in part of the social life there and everything. But she followed the instructions and she sold her place, and it was like gut wrenching for her. Okay. She sold her place in the city and she bought a place out in the country. And then the instructions kept coming in, and they told her to build a teepee. And she said, wait, what? I don't know anything. I don't know how to do this in a respectful way. I don't know anything about building a teepee. And so this journey, when she started saying yes to that, it brought her into connection with the Native American people who were near her and who had originally been living on that land, and then brought her into this place of building this beautiful teepee in full alignment with the ancient ways on her land. And now she holds women's circles there and ceremonies there. So this is just an example, okay, that these sacred instructions might seem completely outside of anything you ever considered for your journey. But you know when they're true. You feel it in your heart when they're true. So I invite you to just close your eyes again for a couple minutes here, and put one or both of your hands on your heart. Now, the heart is just a magical part of the body. It is the center chakra of the 7 main chakras. So it is the place in us that connects heaven and earth. And it does play a role in circulation, but scientists have increasingly discovered that the heart is not a pump. Actually, the pumping is happening in our veins and our arteries. Very fascinating. The heart is not the main pump. The heart, as the ancient and indigenous people have always known, is actually like a receiver of the information from all the forms of intelligence around us. So your heart right now is receiving information from the stars and the planets, receiving information from the earth and the trees, receiving information from your intuition, your ancestral knowing, all the aspects of you that hold profound wisdom. So when we connect into our heart, we connect into all of that intelligence. It's really incredible. So I invite you to just really take a moment to breathe into your heart now. So take a deep breath in Breathing in and filling up your heart and your lungs with the beautiful gifts of oxygen and sunlight and all the elements that surround us at every moment. And then breathe out, releasing and relaxing every muscle in your body, just letting anything go that is weighing on you or tugging at your mind. Just let it go, just for a few minutes. Take another deep breath in, filling up your heart and lungs once again. And breathe out, releasing, relaxing even more. And continue this deeper pattern of breathing. I invite you to ask your heart now, really tune into the intelligence held in your heart. This deep, deep knowing. And ask your heart, what is it that I know needs to change in my life? What is it that's been tapping me on the shoulder for a while now? And I know I need to answer it. Or what is it that I just have a feeling it's not quite right, or it's no longer aligned. And listen to hear the answer from your heart. Now, whatever it is that needs to change, just know you don't have to change it today. You don't have to change it this week. But just recognizing it and being with it, acknowledging it, is very powerful. Often what wants to change, and you can just keep your eyes closed and just listen in here, keep connecting with your heart. Often what wants to change is something that we have resistance to because it doesn't feel safe. Maybe it feels like our world would fall apart if we changed that. Or maybe we don't know how we would manage things if we changed that. So you don't have to know how. We're just on the first step here. You're not expected to have it figured out, but just bring awareness to that felt sense inside of you about what is it that needs to change. And then make a commitment to yourself and to your heart to release and let go of anything that's blocking you from creating the life that your higher self is calling you toward. And again, you don't have to know the details. You don't have to know what it is that's blocking. Just make the commitment that whatever that might be, whatever the doubt or fear or resistance is, that you're here on the journey and you're committed to letting that go, to releasing it with the support of us and the community here. And just commit to yourself. You're going to release and let go of anything that's keeping you from fully living. So take one more deep breath into your heart. Breathing in sunlight and all the magic that's around you. And if there's any other question you'd like to ask your heart at this moment, go ahead and do that. You can ask your heart anything you want. Listen for the answer of your heart. And thank your heart for this profound wisdom that it shared with you today. When you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And while you're still in this fairly meditative state, we're going to embark on a guided journey. So this is a meditation. This is a shamanic journeying practice. And I'm going to put in the chat two options for what you can listen to during the journey. Now, if you prefer silence, that's totally fine. Don't click on either of those. But if you would like to listen to a drum beat, and that's really the drum beat and the music is just to help you really drop in even deeper. Personally, I love using the drum beat for that purpose because it puts our brain into a theta brainwave state, which is like deep meditation state. It does it very quickly with the drum beat. Our brains are naturally attuned to that. So you can click on the drum beat link, or if you prefer meditation music, you can click on the Celestial Meditations for some really beautiful music that will help you get deeper in during this journey. And I'm going to put a beautiful image up on the screen here that you can, so go ahead and press play on one of those videos that I put in the chat for the music or drum beat, and just adjust the volume so that it can be, so you can still hear my voice, okay, but that you can hear the music or the drum beat as well. And you can adjust that volume separately from the volume you're hearing me. And I'm going to turn off my video, and maybe Tammy, if you don't mind turning off your video too, that way everybody can either just close their eyes or gaze lightly at this image here on the screen. And I invite you to, once again, take a deep, deep breath into your heart. Just allow yourself to return to that connected place where you can really feel the wisdom of your heart. And I invite you to imagine yourself in a beautiful place in nature. Now, it may be a forest like in this image here. It might be by the ocean. It might be on a mountaintop. Whatever place in nature is calling to you, feels inspiring to you, let yourself go there. Let the music or the drum beat carry you to this beautiful place in nature. And wherever you go, I invite you to stand there with bare feet, connecting to the earth, and with your hands straight up in the air, connecting to the cosmos above, and really feel yourself as a pillar connecting the earth and cosmos, as a beautiful being who is wanted and needed here on the earth, who is part of the much vaster plan than our minds can possibly perceive in this human form. Really begin to feel yourself here in this mythical sense. We know that everything that happens, the angel numbers that come through to us, the signs, the synchronicities, the life events, every single thing that happens has profound meaning. And we are woven into this tapestry of creation. And so each and every one of us too has profound meaning. We are here for a deep, deep purpose. We all come here with a mission. And as you're standing here in this beautiful place in nature, feeling yourself as a part of this vast cosmic and earthly tapestry. I invite you to call to your side a guide to travel with you on this journey. Now, this may be an angel that shows up by your side, or a power animal, one of your ancestors, could even be a tree or a plant. Just really trust whoever shows up. And thank your guide for being here today. Welcome them. Give them a hug if you would like. And from this beautiful place in nature, your guide is going to take you and carry you and show you different points in your life that were absolutely key moments on your own hero or heroine's journey that have happened for you already in your lifetime. These were key moments on your spiritual adventure of life. So I'll give you a few minutes here just to travel with your guide. Let your guide take you to observe and be a witness to these moments, and really acknowledge these moments as part of your own unique mythology, your unique story as the hero or heroine. So go ahead and travel now. Just take it all in, witness and acknowledge. Now, once your guide has shown you some of these key moments that hold deep meaning for your spiritual adventure, your guide is going to take you to a special place where they will show you your purpose, how you are a part of the larger plan of what's happening on the earth right now, and how you're meant to help and assist, or maybe be a teacher or a healer or a guide in some way. Maybe you're here to open people's perception to new ways of being. So allow your guide to show you your purpose and how it fits into the larger plan for the earth, for all of humanity. And if it's not completely clear yet, don't worry, that's okay. We're developing this ability to see that. Just see what happens. Just trust what you are shown. Now, once you have seen this glimpse of your purpose and how it fits into the bigger plan, your guide is going to take you and carry you, fly you once more to show you a point in time 10 years in the future from now. when you have taken already some huge leaps forward on your entrepreneurial path, where you have taken this purpose and used it to change the world, to heal the world, to help the world in some way. So go ahead and zoom forward in time to 10 years from now and see what it is that you're doing. See how you're helping people, or maybe you're helping animals. Maybe you're creating amazing artwork. Just see what that is for you. And then your guide is going to show you how every single step of your spiritual journey has been absolutely necessary to lead you to this point 10 years in the future. Every moment, even when you felt completely lost, or even when you didn't know what your path forward was actually critical for getting you here to a point where you're carrying out your highest contribution. And you can realize as you take this all in that you've been so guided and protected at every step. There are no mistakes. It's all meant to be. So allow a deep sense of trust and love to settle into your heart as you can see how you've been guided all along. And allow your guide to show you how your spiritual adventure and your entrepreneurial purpose work adventure are one and the same. And that every up and down of life, that everything you've learned along the journey is contributing to what you are here to bring to the world. Just really take this in for a minute. Just really allow yourself to receive it and receive the depth of meaning behind all of it, all of this. And once you've taken that in, your guide is going to turn to you and hand you a gift, which will be another clue, a clue for the next steps on your path. You may be surprised by what this gift is. Just go ahead and receive it. Hold it in your hands. Tuck it away into your heart so you'll always carry it with you. And now it's time to come back. So your guide is going to carry you back to that original place in nature where you began. So stand there with your guide by your side once more, with your bare feet on the ground, on the earth, and your hands lifted up to the cosmos. Once again, feel yourself as a beautiful being who is connecting the great above and the great below. Now you know even more deeply how you're a part of the larger plan for the earth. And say thank you once again to your guide and watch them leave. And then begin to come back into the present moment. Allow yourself to become aware of your breathing again. And take a deep, deep breath into your heart. Breathing in fully and holding that breath in the heart. And then releasing, relaxing, coming back fully present here. And when you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Welcome back. So, welcome back, everybody. I invite you to really trust what you saw today. And again, even if it wasn't clear yet, that is okay. It will get more and more clear as we continue to do this work together. And thank you for journeying. I invite you all to write in the chat and in the comments on YouTube anything that was really stood out for you about your experience, anything new that you learned. We would love to hear. And I do invite you to write down in a journal or notebook anything that felt really important or like something new that came through. Write it down, because these journeys are very much in the dream space. So just like dreams, we can sometimes forget them quickly. So I want to write them down and remember what came through. Tami, how was that for you? What did you see or experience?
A really powerful part of it for me was, because I've been doing so much studying around this hero's journey, stages, was seeing my life in that way and those key moments in that way. And the meeting the mentors part, really, like I just saw in my life, like all of these guides and mentors that have changed the trajectory of my life and have helped me to grow. And it made me feel really grateful for each and every person that it became really clear who they were in that journey.
That's so beautiful.
I got a little book as my gift, a little book to, my journals and all my books and everything. I got a little tiny one to keep in my heart for my very most important, work,
Aww.
Yeah. Thank you for that beautiful experience you shared with everyone.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Let's see what everybody's writing in the chat. Angela says, thank you, Jocelyn. Emotional to feel validated on the tough life journey. Yes. Oh. And that I have an honored place on this earth. I have big chills, Angela, as I'm reading your comment. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. And your tough life journey has profound meaning. So, wow. Thank you for sharing that. And Copper Dawn says, loved it. I know I am here holding a frequency of light. Yes, really beautiful. Nancy says, I was standing on a cloud with a rainbow overhead. My legs extended for miles to the earth and then to the center. Ooh, I love that. My power animal was a peace dove. I'm 74, so I was not sure if I was alive or not in 10 years. The gifts were vitamin supplements. I love it. Well, take your supplements and I think you will be here in 10 years, Nancy. Wow. Arlie says, beautiful to meet a spirit animal I didn't know and to do what we did together. That's really beautiful. Yeah, so some of you might have gotten a new guide that you've never seen before that's here to help you on the hero's journey. That's really exciting. Deb said, the red Indian that came to me in one of your trainings, Jocelyn, came back today, guiding me to spiritual and shadow work and self-care groups. Wow. Very powerful. I have chills again. I feel you're being guided by an ancestor there, Debs. That's really amazing. And Lisa said, beautiful to integrate the heroine in all the phases of life's journey. Yeah. Yes, yes. Okay. Well, we are at the end of our call for today, but this is not the end of the journey. We have so much really beautiful and inspiring and exciting content and practices to share with you over the next few days. So we'll be meeting again on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week, all at 1 p.m. New York time, starting the same time as today, at the same Zoom link, or you can always join on the Sacred Planet YouTube channel if you prefer. So let me just share with you what we're going to be working with tomorrow, which is the call to adventure. And I'll put this up on the screen in case it's helpful for everybody with the time and date. So once we recognize that we're in the ordinary world and there's somewhere else we know we need to go, then we're going to receive the call to adventure. And of course, we'll tell you a lot more about that tomorrow, but this is such an exciting and pivotal turning point on the journey that we really can't wait to share it with you. So hope that all of you who've been on live today can join us again tomorrow at the same time. And of course, we'll send out the replay in the meantime, so that all of you who couldn't join live will be catching up. So Tami, did you have anything else to add?
No, that was beautiful. And I'm just feeling really, really inspired by everyone's deep shares. I'm seeing a lot of things I want to say to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, let's go for it. Say a few, because we can, yeah.
I know. I'm hearing some pain, coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't experience anything on this journey, that is okay.
Yeah.
And that is, we receive information in many, many different ways. And so don't think it should be a certain way. We have to let go of that thinking that, oh, I didn't do it right, or it didn't work for me like that.
Yeah.
Just keep showing up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And if you didn't see anything or your guide didn't come in, don't worry, you're not doing anything wrong. This is a part of your journey as well. Right. And as Tami said, we all perceive things in very different ways. Some people are very visionary and see all of this playing out before their eyes. Some people don't see a thing. And it might be a feeling in their body, or it might be, some people even are very strong in like just the hearing. Some people hear messages. Some people are strong in olfactory sense, and they might not see or hear anything, but a smell might come through that like carries a message. So really open up to the idea that you may be meant to receive the information in a very different way than what you think is, normal or what everybody else is getting, and allow that for yourself. Okay. Really trust that. And also, as we meet every day, I think more and more will start coming through, and we'll be able to flow in for you. So hope you can continue attending with us. We have so much we want to guide you in here. Yeah, beautiful. Betsy says, I received a great deal of clarity. I send you love. Beautiful. And I love the little bee emoji that you shared. Okay. Wow. Well, I'm so grateful to all of you for your deep, deep shares in the chat here. It's just so beautiful to feel your energy and your emotions, and that really like the power of each of your journeys. So I honor each of you so deeply, and can't wait to keep sharing with you for the next few days during this series. So yeah, well, lots and lots of love, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, and mwah, so much love.